Hello!
Hey, we're live.
We're live.
How's it going, everyone? Happy Sunday.
Good morning, afternoon-ish.
Afternoon-ish.
Yeah, we're pretty late now in the afternoon. Hi, welcome to Kamen Rider Corner. What episode are we on this week?
Five.
Name of the episode?
I don't know.
What is the name of the episode?
You guys would probably know.
The name of the episode is Dangerous Identity.
There we go.
There we go. It's a dangerous
it's
identity indeed. So, quick introductions. Obviously, Daryl's not here today. Good. But we have someone better.
Exactly.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Trust me.
If
If Daryl's watching.
we have someone much better than Daryl. So, before we introduce ourselves, please introduce yourself.
Oh. Hi, everyone. My name is Paula Gaetos. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Tokusatsu Network. We are hopefully your best resource online for official Tokusatsu news and entertainment.
Awesome. And I'm Jimmy. You guys know me. Should probably know me.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm back after last... Hi.
It's okay, guys.
Special guest over there, too. Hi, I'm Justin. I'm after my week break. I'm back on podcaster and Kamen Rider enthusiast. And after Paula is...
Luis, hi guys, how's it going? Regular, I guess?
Yes.
We're all regulars.
We're all
all
regulars.
So, before we get started in the actual episode, how did you guys like the episode?
I definitely dig this one quite a bit. Especially because I wasn't here for last week's episode. I want to say...
Tell us, did you like last week's episode?
I really liked last week's episode, and the feels really came in.
Yes.
Hardcore.
What was
Yeah.
it about last week's episode that you really liked?
For me, it's the concept. Like one of the things I liked about a really good kind of writer show for me is like a connection to the people, the writers helping. And yeah, because Forze is like my intro to current writer.
Oh.
So I'm all into.
You were up here when
Yeah.
it comes to...
It's really hard to go. But but then one of the things I like about those writer shows like Forze and then Double is that they make an effort to try to make the connection between the writer and the person they're helping that week a major part of the story. And since this show is a little more serialized, I liked how we build it up from like being conflicted about Nabeshima because of his family's introduction and realizing like they could find a way to really sell me on this guy's and his daughter's relationship in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then by the time I got to the end, I'm sitting there going, "Shut up, Build."
What? These aren't tears. They're just raining.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
You're being stupid.
Here's a helicopter.
I'm gonna say this again. That little girl's adorable.
She's
She
great.
is. She's great.
Toku kid actors can be both really good.
It's a coin flip.
It's a coin flip. You can see when we're like, okay, that's fine, you're adorable. And the other one's like, hey, you're actually a good actor. So,
Yeah, the like the kid from who plays what's his name? Damn it, he's Aqua in Q Ranger.
yeah.
He's really good.
He's good.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Kamen Rider now. Enough about Sentai. Yeah, this week's episode I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. What about it this episode that would stuck out to you?
The Lakers.
The Laker colors.
The Laker colors.
I mean,
Build
being
a manga ninja.
yeah,
form.
being from
Yes.
LA, that this called to me. I'm not even a sports fan, but it just it made me proud to be here.
It's a little LA pride, right?
Yeah,
a
it's
little California
bit.
pride.
It's a little bit. I could already see like hardcore like Lakers fans who also like Tokusatsu really gravitating towards this specific design.
Right.
And then who doesn't like ninjas? And who doesn't like comics? We like comics
Everywhere.
This was totally intentional, guys. Yeah, I absolutely love it. So before we go into the actual episode, let's say hi to some of the people in the chat. We have Abigail Parker. Thank you again for the art. We'll feature it next week. Hopefully.
I'm really happy with what you drew.
Yeah.
FYI. So.
Yes, Kotaro's his name. Thank you, Abigail. We also have Ryan Super 04 Steel Speed Thomas. I'm just gonna call you Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Also, hi to you too. So great. Let's talk about the episode.
Okay. How does it begin? You want to...
So, from where we left off in episode 4,
Yeah.
we all know, there was that cliffhanger with Souichi.
Yes.
About, what is his, deal with Faust. This episode, it kind of just basically, it starts off really chill, to be honest.
Yes.
It starts off really...
They're drinking coffee.
Yeah.
They're drinking coffee.
Really bad coffee.
Really bad coffee. But they're continuing on to where we left off with him talking about Faust.
Right.
And then Sento asks, "Are you like working with Faust?" And that's when we just get that instant response of like goofiness. He's like, "Yeah, hell no. He's like, I'm not working with Faust. I'm too good for that.
Right.
You know?
I like my favorite thing about when he like that part where it's like, how can anyone this stylish be a villain? I'm like, have you seen Drive? Have you seen Double? Have you seen any other Kamen Rider?
I'm just
Just saying.
He's like, it doesn't seem so. Those guys weren't as good looking as I am.
One thing I just absolutely love from that scene is that last week we questioned, like, he's going to his second job. You own a coffee shop. Why do you need a second job? Well, we got the answer. He doesn't make good coffee. Like, that's why it's always empty.
like nobody's at the shop, like ever. So
Yeah, I think we had like one person in the first episode, and that's about it.
maybe, not even that's debatable.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Like, I just love that line.
Well, no, the biggest reveal for when number 5 has a really big plot reveal. Like,
Right.
Owner is the astronaut that started this whole thing.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, oh, we're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
We
that
know
was
who this
answered a
person
lot
is.
sooner than I thought it
Yeah.
would be.
Same.
Well, when we're talking about Kamen Rider Build, episode 2, when they went over all of Banjo's stuff, it was so quick and so fast. I almost want to be
true.
like, oh, hey, slow down. There's a lot more plot and stuff to do. We're really going this fast.
That's
Yeah.
kind of my one mild worry on Build is like I'm looking, like I thought this whole reveal of who the astronaut was, who that person who unleashed the wall was going to be like an episode 15 thing or an episode 20 thing. Episode 5, we got answers to both, and like you, I'm like, hey, you got like 40 some episodes to go,
Yeah, like,
and
this is a marathon, guys.
and movies, and like so you gotta. So I'm hoping it's building up to something that they have things planned out that's beyond what we're assuming the show is going to be.
I just hope whatever they have planned is good.
Same.
Yeah.
That you know, like they're getting all this other stuff out of the way, so they have something much bigger and grander.
To be fair, there's still a little mystery to it because
Yeah.
the idea that owner is kind of like I don't know why I did it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He said
Yeah.
like that trip to Mars really messed me up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so you're doing the drop,
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the payoff.
And I still
Yes.
feel like there's more to him than that he's still revealing to them. Like there's that bit in episode 2 where he took the tablet and made it to a back scratcher.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we don't even know how much further he's letting on and what other stuff he's holding back
that is
hours
true.
wise.
Yeah.
So far, Build
there's plenty
has-
in there.
So far, Build has done this really cool thing of nothing has been accidental so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't. They haven't just done something and then just left it. I mean, and if they have, we'll probably get an answer to it.
They're picking up the
You know.
pieces they dropped behind.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Yeah.
the previous
And sometimes you don't even remember, like, oh yeah, that's right, this one thing happened, and now it's getting a payoff. So I think that's a really good job by the writing team.
Right. And so when we also find out is that like the panel that he has in the wall was basically a trade-off with Faust.
Yes.
Because Faust kidnapped Misora.
Yes.
And he basically stole it, from what I can tell, he stole it from the corporation.
Yes.
And used that as a way to play like, oh yeah, I'm part of you guys. Psych, I want my daughter back. And,
Yeah.
and while he grabs one of the panels out, he also grabbed a bunch of the bottles.
Yes.
I don't know how much he grabbed. Was there a basket? Was there? Was
There's
there?
like a little shopping
Was
cart.
there? It's like,
I
take,
don't
take,
know.
you know?
He just passed by. He's like, I'll take this.
Yeah.
Or just did like a this.
Yeah. There's a shelf, and he's like, I don't know what these
reach
are.
behind.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that. Well, here's a question I would like to ask you for all of you. Do you think Misora is his actual biological daughter, or did he just find her and that's why he's calling her dad?
That's true.
I-
Because
Yeah.
that was my first thought. It's like,
Because even
well,
then-
what if she would got kidnapped?
He found
Right.
Sento. According to him, he found Sento.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's possible that she also had amnesia.
Yeah.
And he's just
suddenly
said,
called
"Hey,
her dad.
I want a daughter. You're my
This isn't kidnapping,
Because
but I'll
the-
save you for now.
No, I mean, she was already kidnapped.
Right.
He kidnapped someone who was already kidnapped.
You
So
have a point.
it's a double negative. It cancels out.
But the question's
That's
still
a
big.
positive then.
The big question that's still about her though is like, but why does she have these abilities
Yes.
that can allow her to take the Smash essence?
Maybe they were
Yes.
just doing some different experimenting with her for the full bottles. You know, instead of turning her into a Smash, they just give her the abilities to just power up the essence, because that's what she indicates in the beginning of the episode. You know, she
Yeah.
says, "Oh, I was kidnapped. My dad rescued me." It's like they're still after me because I have the power to enhance, you know, the Smash's essence.
Right.
Which is why she never leaves the coffee shop.
Exactly.
But then again, she's like a world famous icon.
Yeah,
so-
that is really mind boggles me a little bit, just because her face is not that different
Yeah.
Right.
online, and I get sometimes when you put on like girls with makeup. You put on your makeup and stuff like that. I still look like me, and she still looks like her. And so
Right.
if I'm running away from like a major government organization that's like after me for like my life,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be right here right now.
Maybe not a live stream on Twitch if you want to not know where you're at.
Exactly.
But she also, what she said in the previous episode the episodes previous when she was doing that whole neat done
Yeah.
thing, she has a private server in a sense.
that's
that-
true.
Oh,
that-
so she's in the dark web.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah,
that's
'cause
like,
but she has so many subscribers.
Yeah.
If you could just give her information, you'd think one of them was somehow maybe possibly connected to Faust, maybe through like a stepdad or something. Because
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like it's.
Yeah, I just spitballing. I get it.
You'd think that maybe one of her viewers might somehow have a connection with
Gotcha.
someone at Faust, and maybe the person from Faust like walked in like, "Do you want some dinner?" we're looking for her. Where is she at? Who is she? And why are you watching her, you pervert? So
why this late at night?
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. So what happens next, Luis?
From here, we get the news reporter, Takigawa.
Yes.
She finally comes in, interrupts everybody, and says, "Oh, I've found somebody who has information about your past."
She's
Oh,
a
that's right,
very
yeah.
good journalist, apparently. 'Cause, like,
She's
her
Batman.
contacts are up the wazoo. Like,
Yeah.
she knows 80 million people, apparently.
Yeah.
That she was able to figure out Sento's identity
Oh, yeah.
pretty quickly. Yeah.
So-
So we meet, right? Is that next scene is us meeting the contact who says he knows?
In this case, yeah, her and Sento leave to go meet up with the contact, which is just
Let's talk
silly.
about him.
Yeah. He's interesting.
His name is Tatsuya, and he is
His Aniki.
Is Aniki? He's a small little brother of
Kohai. He's the Kohai.
he's the
of-
Kohai
to-
of
To his-
Sento, or in this case, his name that he used to go by, Sato Taro.
Yeah.
which is-
Sugar sweet potato.
Which is an amazing name. And I can see why he's upset that that's his possible real name.
So at this point, we see him. He's a bit of a klutz.
A bit.
Hey.
He's a klutz, and he smacks his face into the mirror because he's so happy to finally see him.
Hey, describe his look. How does he look like?
I'll say this. He
He
looks
has an
like
afro.
He looks like
And
a
really
really
bad
dumb
fake
version of Koryu Blue from Kyoryuger.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
he's
just
like
no
if-
overalls, but
If
the tank
Nobu
top.
got hit with a really sad stick. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he goes
Yeah,
up to
interesting
Sento
guy.
and he starts yelling, "Brother, brother!" And then that's when like Sento's like reflex kicks in and he grabs him and flips him over. He's just like, "My bad."
Yeah, he's one of those characters where I'm like, okay, let's.
Like, I don't feel bad that you're getting turned into a smash.
You should feel bad.
I feel
mean,
a little bit bad.
a
little bit.
Like, I
I'm
don't.
not a monster.
I've seen more frustrating characters in him, but at the same time, he's on the edge of pushing that. All right, I get it. You're funny.
Yeah,
For
it-
5-year-olds.
Well, the thing is, though, like I'm like that's why I'm kind of looking down and being rude and on my phone. But I was trying to find who the actor was for. I wasn't able to find it, but what I find with different Kamen Riders, especially with like different series, you get a lot of like up and coming comedians.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming up as as guest stars and guest actors, and so him being like a Tetsuya, right?
Yeah.
Tetsuya being like off the wall, wears like a leather collar and has an
An afro.
He's got a
like an
Joker on him.
Asian dad afro that I know my father had when he was that age. And and from my understanding, if he's like in this weird band, they're supposed to be like that, irreverent,
Right.
loud, and so that's just like the culture personality.
Yeah.
And so for us, we'll be like, what the heck? And I'm sure like for the rest of
Oh, yeah.
like society, it's gonna be like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Right.
But
Yeah,
it,
it's probably cool over there, or
Yeah.
at least more acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
So Abigail Parker said that she reminds him of Stinger only because he kept screaming Anarchy. Like that was his thing.
I mean,
Yeah, it's.
Stinger's cooler.
I mean,
listen, I don't think that's debatable.
I didn't hate the character
Oh, really?
because he wasn't a bad person.
Yeah.
He was just a tad bit annoying. So when
I think he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Well, the whole point is like Sento is like he's just the guy saying this is your real life, bro, and he's like, that can't be right at all.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, it's literally night and day.
They went back to his apartment, and his old room has trash bags all over the place. And it's like, if you're gonna go through the trouble of putting your trash in bags, just take out the trash.
Just take out the trash.
Like,
It also
that
could
messy.
be. I'm thinking about like Japanese like really strong trash laws. Like if you don't get it right at a specific time,
That's true.
Yeah.
you, like, and if you are that really weird lazy person, you
Right.
literally collect trash in your home because you can't find the right time to take out the trash.
I mean,
That's
no offense. I don't think those guys. I think those are the kind of guys who keep forgetting when the trash supposed to be going
Yeah.
out.
That's
they're-
And it also could be because he had disappeared. No one was taking out the trash
Right.
for him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or it was just collected.
I will
over
say
time.
the photos of Sento as a rock star might be one of my favorite bits because his reaction to that is like, "This is still not. No, I can't
He's like,
accept
there's
this."
no. He's like, there's no way I could have done this. And then we also get a shot with him all having the crazy hair,
Spikes.
which explains why he has that poof that keeps coming out.
You know,
every
to be
episode.
fair, I didn't think of that. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
So yeah, no, he's kind of in this extreme denial
Yeah.
phase.
Oh yeah. I would be too if I think I'm a certain way and then someone shows me otherwise. I'd probably be in denial too.
Yeah.
We then found out that like the day that he did. That was a car. The day that he disappeared is the same day that
So
owner.
Richie found it.
Found him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Master found it.
is kind of confused. It's kind of weird. Like, what exactly happened?
Yeah.
You know, like it happened within probably a few hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what happened within those few hours? And did the experiment make him, or whatever happened, make him smarter? Or was he already that smart, but just his personality changed?
Right.
Which brought that out.
Well, including the memory loss as well.
Yeah.
And that's the memory loss thing is something that's really interesting to me because it's starting to get to the point where I'm realizing like how much is Faust controlling the amount of memory loss per experiment.
Okay.
Because like example like that mom who runs the boat, she has a little bit of memory loss, but she retained most of her family. Remember, she
Yeah.
knows her child, etc. Whereas Nabashima completely forgot everything. Doesn't
Yeah.
even know he had a family. Doesn't even know he had.
That was after a second dosage, though.
That's true.
In the
Yeah.
experiment time.
So
The
does
first
that
time he
mean
knew about it.
But it
Santo
happened
got
with
two
like
doses?
sorry.
No worries.
But it also happened in earlier episodes where it was just the one time, and that person in that first episode that he
Yeah.
didn't have.
Yeah.
It was complete memory loss as well. So I guess the idea was that if, like, that was basically. It comes back to your point. Like how much did they actually control? Because even at fast forwarding to the very end of this episode, Tetsuya had all his memories still.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of it, and he got transformed twice. So
Yeah.
that is way different what happened with Nabashima
And then-
from the previous episode.
And Banjo has most of his.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's now I'm at the point where I'm thinking, okay, so clearly I think Faust is intentionally letting people lose their memory depending on how much they need them to retain it.
Okay.
So that's something I'm trying to figure out.
Maybe with Banjo, they try to remove enough so he's still a good fighter. Because part of fighting is technique and
That's
what you
true.
remember.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to have him lose too much because if he lost too much, he might forget how to fight and then he'd only be a strong guy.
Right.
You know?
They can weaponize them in this sense.
Yeah.
I wanted to add to that too, of how you said, what if when they're getting experimented on, the whole memory loss thing could be psychological. It's all about the willpower that they don't want to lose their memories or anything like
Could be that as well.
Well, if we go back to Banjo's girlfriend, right? Like when she was the fire one,
That's true.
She was able to. She was attacking, but clearly at some point she remembered that's
As a smash.
Yeah.
as a smash. So she tried to hold back, killing him.
Yeah.
So that's actually something they can. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some
Yeah.
point to that.
If that's the case as well, thinking of the way Sento's personality had changed so differently, when you think about stuff like, Alzheimer's and early onset dementia and things like that, a lot of the times, or that has happened in terms of like, and I only really know this because I was just reading about it, is that the biggest thing is personality change.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like night and day when somebody has issues with memory and memory loss and, being unable to retain certain like immediate memories or long-term memories and things like that. So it's really interesting maybe in terms of the way Faust has that memory control when it comes to their smash. Are they controlling also the personalities, whether they will be more compliant, whether they will be like how useful can someone be if you control their memories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going in.
So
into
it's
this.
really cool to see where all those layers might be.
No, for sure.
And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're like, we also could just be looking into it. way
Yeah.
too hard.
I mean that's.
Yeah,
I mean that's
it's-
what. It's
It is very possible that the writing is
Where-
very inconsistent. It's like just to whatever works for them that day.
right.
The
But-
power of fan theory.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, but it's so far it's a pretty well written series. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past it.
I mentioned to you all before when we were talking about who the producers and writers are behind it.
Right.
The writer behind Build right now has written Densha Otoko. He's written on Hanakimi. He's written on Crow Zero. So these are really like J-drama, high action. A lot of it is like multi-cast relationship-wise, and a lot of it is like friendship-wise. And then when you talk about the director is Rita Tasaki. He's done Gaim, he's done Ginga Man, he's done Akiba Ranger. He's done Double, and he's done O's as well. So it's a lot of, they're pulling from those. Like, you see themes from previous Kamen Riders pop up into here, and a lot of it has to do with like relationships. And so I wouldn't really put it past them to add those layers in terms of like bad guys trying to control the world kind of situations, and doing it through changing individual people's personalities.
Well, that kind of goes back to this thing I used to make fun of about Shocker. And like when we go back to Kamen Rider 1, Hongo gets turned into a cyborg, and then they don't memory wipe him first. They give him the cyborg abilities, and then he goes off, he escapes, and says, "F you, Shocker, I'm gonna fight you
for justice."
And I always make fun of Shocker, going like, memory wipe your cyborgs. Because every time you make another cyborg, that guy decides to go against you. Stop making Kamen Riders, because they keep going against you. And once you do, make sure you memory wipe them first, then put them through the process. So with Decade, that made me laugh about Decade, it's like, oh, you finally figured it out. Memory wipe the guy first. And what maybe is the case with Faust is that they've memory wiped they've been doing memory wiping as part of the experiment with the Pandora stuff. So
it also goes back to like especially when you mentioned Shocker, like both all the producers that we've heard comments on, especially when we reported on Tokunet, is that they really want to get back to some of those like classic Kamen Rider elements. So again, it's that relationship, it's that memory loss, it's that control, trying to control, folks through just converting them to be part of their own organization.
Right.
And then it's the heroes who was originally part of that organization fighting back against, his creators.
Yeah, exactly. And that's to me the heart of Kamen Rider. Yeah. What do we got in the...
So for the comments, we have just Ryan and Abigail having a conversation about tea.
Tea?
Well, I'm drinking unsponsored green tea.
Bottled water. You can find it anywhere.
It can become tea later. Now, go.
So Ryan asked, he's like, who's the beautiful lady? This is Paula from Tokusatsu Network.
Hi.
So, let's see. They're just talking about hot chocolate and stuff.
The chocolate's good.
Chocolate.
My favorite thing to do is to get like graham crackers and put like Swiss fake hot chocolate, and it's like the most comforting thing in the world.
I've never done that, but that sounds amazing.
It's like you just dip it in, and sometimes it'll break in, so you have like this really cool like mushy stuff in the bottom, and it's
right
just
on.
like grandma's love.
I really like.
Very different from owner's coffee. Like, very different.
It sounds drinkable.
I really like Mexican hot chocolate because it's kind of very
That
cinnamony.
stuff is good.
It's amazing. So actually, let's go back a little bit. Back to the cafe scene because yes, chocolate. In the cafe scene, when Sento asks the owner, he's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And he's like, "Well, I wanted you to be Build." Because he could have become Build, but he didn't. So he's like, "I wanted you to become Build." And if I would have told you this, you wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was kind of cool.
It was a very wizened, like, old wizard kind of thing. It's not like, I want you to become the hero you are.
Yes.
Right,
by not telling you exactly what I need you to do.
Exactly.
He found out anyways, but what's cool about that specific scene is that he almost like pulled off like a Stan Lee in a sense, or like an Uncle Ben to like to Sento. Basically, he's like, right when I found you, you basically had the heart for this.
Yeah.
So I pushed you to become Build, and then eventually I already knew that you were gonna find out. So I was just waiting for you to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like, "Isn't it obvious?" Like, well,
not.
it wasn't really that obvious. But okay, let's go back to the whole. What's next?
So from here, they start, having their little leisurely walk, talking about, what they just witnessed in the apartment. And this is where we see construction workers getting attacked by Faust's droids.
Yes.
In this same instance, we get to see the Guardians of Toto come in and destroy those droids, only to get basically transformed into bad droids again.
He's like Bloodstock. Yeah, by Bloodstock. He's up there. He's like it's like a weird switch, and all of a sudden the droids turn into
stuff pops off. And they red lights. And
it's like they just like their face just comes off.
Which that was kind of cool.
They cast it off.
It's cool, and I'm like,
No!
saw what you did there. Nice.
No boo. Everyone gets that reference.
No.
So,
but also it's like, wait a minute, how can you do that? Bloodstock. How are you able to do
Well,
that?
what I like in that specific scene is like it reminds folks that officially Faust and Toto government they don't talk to each other.
Right.
But you can see where there is that inner control there, and so that's
They
like
use the same
control of
tech.
communication, control of information.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh hey, we're getting into here, and we're adding those layers, and I like
Yeah,
this.
that's really cool. So it makes you question, who is Bloodstark? Who is Night Rogue? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
at first we all have our guesses to who Night Rogue
Rogue
is,
is.
Okay.
but now I'm like, maybe that's Bloodstock. You know?
I don't think so. I really don't, because the personality of Bloodstock is like so much different than.
That's true.
than-
He's
than
treating
Night
it like a
Rogue.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a game. He's having fun with it.
Exactly.
I like that
Exactly.
about those two characters. Though.
Yeah.
Can I
That's
just
what's
point
really
out
fun
that they both
about it.
have unicorn horns?
Yep.
They do. Yes.
Maybe if that breaks off, he becomes a writer. Good
Well,
writer.
It's like a,
They use the trans steam gun, both of them, so it's understandable why they both have the horns.
Yeah.
You know.
well, I'm thinking too, like because if the natural consensus is that Himuro, the Toto government prime minister's son, is Night Rogue.
Yeah.
Like you don't see Night Rogue and you don't see Himuro was there watching this whole situation, and there's Bloodstock on the other side, so they're clearly not the same person.
That's true.
That's true.
And so there was like oh right, obvious thing.
Do you guys have any theories to who Bloodstark might be?
I want him to be a completely different character.
Because
Yeah.
my
Someone we
first
haven't met?
guess,
We haven't met.
My first guess I thought it was gonna be the hipster cafe owner.
Was he yeah,
But
that
that
was
was-
the first thought.
But then I'm like, now at this one I'm questioning it. But if they still somehow do that, I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, I would find
You know.
it like I would be disappointed. It's like, oh man, you went for the obvious
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
switcheroo.
That is true.
That's
But then
kinda-
again, that also I have to like pace myself and
Right.
going. I've been watching Rider and Sentai for so long that I'm like, okay, not everyone. Okay, fine.
Right.
I'm the last
Yeah,
person.
I don't trust anyone here. I don't even trust the main writer.
Here's another question I want to bring up. Do Night Rogue and Bloodstock know each other's identities?
That's a good question.
You know, it's
Because
We
he
don't-
calls them by stock. He's like, so what are you doing playing game stock? He's like, we gotta do this. It's like he doesn't call him by a regular name or anything. We get that.
Right.
But that would be another twist too, is that they both work together but they don't trust each other, they don't know who each other are.
What if it's the president's assistant who was like really violent towards
Gento?
Sento?
the guy with the glasses.
What if it's that guy?
That would be crazy.
I was thinking
the,
that.
the one with the white
Yeah, and the glasses.
glasses, who
Yeah.
kind of looks like Peter Adrian if he was evil.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, how about that?
That is true.
Sorry.
I mean, don't be evil, because that guy was a jerk.
He screams at everyone's faces.
I mean, maybe it could be that guy. I mean,
It could be.
It could
That
be.
he just like that's his different personality.
Yeah, like he holds back.
Because he was really
Yeah.
violent, like towards Sento at that point.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're an assistant. Chill.
I don't know. Have you met other Hollywood
That's true.
assistants?
That's true.
I have, and it's
That is true.
it's not far off.
Similarly
Oh, so we
close.
have someone else in the chat, It's Justin. So Justin also wants to know who Bloodstock is, and they said
I
that
do.
yes, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
you.
Yes.
This Justin. Hi.
This Justin.
This just
Two Justins in the house. Justin squared. So what happens next?
So from here, after we see basically the droids getting turned, Sento goes into his Hawk Gatling form.
Love this
Everyone,
This
we
form
all
is
love Hawk.
amazing.
I think the
We all love
writers
Hawk Alley
love
form.
this form too, because ever since he got this form, we see that more than his standard rabbit tank form.
Yeah, so
I mean, I can't blame them. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
Also,
it's,
like
it's
it goes with like the Kamen Rider thing where it's like show off the new form. Show
Yeah,
off the
you
new
know.
form. Kids buy this. Toy.
get these
in
bottles
stores
now.
now.
Get the Hawk Gatling.
Tell your mom, tell your dad. Hawk
Send
Gatlin's
it straight to
available.
100. Come on.
Buy the bottle, buy the gun.
Everything is
this
kind of
toy.
fantastic because like there's a web show called Drunk Hawkman that I really love, and because of that show, I started like looking into like different like the Hawk world and stuff like that. And so I see Hawk Gatling and like Toku, and I'm like, yes. I love it when Venn diagrams of fandom does this for me.
I still can't get over that awesome shade of gunmetal gray that they used. For
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's-
That color is amazing.
It's the best match.
It
Yeah.
is the best match.
I'm done here.
That's Paul, everyone. Thank you for showing up.
She gets up and literally leaves. Like, bye guys, I'm done for the day.
That's all she wanted to say.
I got my goal.
Peace.
Set it out there,
Now,
guys.
okay, so there's a fight between Hawk Gatling and Bloodstock.
Gorgeous fight.
Great fight. Drone effective fight.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Amazing.
And like I said, like they have there's let me look up who the action director is real quick. The action director is Miyazaki Tsuyoshi, and he was from the Japanese Action Enterprise, and he basically is a returning action director from X-Aid.
Nice.
My shirts is a little indication. Anyway, so you have you have X-Aid folks who are returning as action directors for Build, and so what I'm seeing is, if you watched X-Aid, is that you're seeing all those like really cool first person like action shots, really cool drone shots, and things like that come and like really work with Build as well.
Yeah.
So, and we're seeing that also in like Super Sentai film, and I've seen it in Zoojer as well, when you get a lot of those flying effects. So what I'm finding is that everybody from like are just building on these really cool. All right, we're done. They're just really literally building on those previous like experiences of like flying shots, action shots, drone shots, first person shots, like around the corner first person shots.
Yeah.
And it just looks gorgeous with
Yeah, even in X8 they had a ton of flying shots with jet combat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really
Oh, yeah.
them jumping too as well,
Yeah,
when you
like-
have like that platformer.
That was pretty cool.
That's cool. All right, so let's move on from after that amazing fight scene to what happens next.
From
Do they take
there-
him to the cafe?
No.
Actually, no.
No,
From that-
he gets kidnapped, right? Is that where he gets
No,
kidnapped?
he gets
No.
kidnapped towards the end of the episode.
Okay.
At
Yeah.
this point, basically, after the hot Gatling form, he switches to his primary form.
That's
Rabbit
right.
Tank, and he goes in for a simple rider kick. You know, he's attacking him, whatnot. He goes for his rider kick, his Voltec finish, and Stock catches the kick.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
He catches
Right.
the kick, and he's like, your hazard level is going up to like 3 point something. And he's like, you're not there yet, and like he like throws Sento like right off,
That's
and like
right.
he de-transforms.
Yeah.
And then like he just dips. He's just like later. Then from there, Takigawa and Tatsuya go up to Sento, making sure that he's okay and all that stuff. He's like, who is that guy? From there, that's when they start heading towards the cafe.
Okay.
You know, that's when we see the shot of Ryuga and
That's right.
Misora talking to themselves about it. And you know, Ryuga is like, what's he doing out there? He's supposed to be helping me getting a testimony for, you know, me not being
To clear his
Yeah,
name.
to clear
Yeah.
my name. He's over there thinking about himself and all that stuff, and so they're talking about it.
Says the person who's thinking about himself.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the person who's thinking
I'm just
about
not very
himself.
smart.
He's like, you're being selfish. It's about me.
This series is about me, not you, me.
It's called Kamen Rider Ryuga, okay?
It's really not. But well, no, that's the cool thing about Banjo is that what I'm looking forward to about his character arc in the show is that he's a guy who's slowly figuring out how to not think of for himself.
Yeah.
Slowly, like he's a musclehead, as said a couple episodes ago, and he's a guy who's like, now, and for understandable reasons too. He's pissed because he's he's pissed because of his situation.
Yeah.
So he knows that he wants to get out of that so he
Yeah.
can just live his freaking life.
But it's kind of backwards because in the last episode, he went through this thing where he's like, well, it's not about me, it's about, you know, Nabeshima and his family.
I wouldn't
like
say-
Like,
yeah.
he goes to this thing of like, oh, I'm being selfish.
Mhm.
You know, like, this man, he can't remember his own family. His family's going through this.
Yeah.
And I'm being selfish by making it about me.
Right.
And then in this episode, he turns around and he's like, he's being selfish again. It's like,
Well,
You know-
I also want to give it like people don't flip that.
That's
right?
true. No,
That's what I was
you
gonna
gotta
say.
give them time to like get there.
no, that is
Yeah.
true.
But at the
But
same,
it's Toku. So it's
mean-
happened in Toku where it's like 1 minute they're great, they're bad guys.
oh,
and
I
next they're
figured
good
it
guys.
out. And
You know, so like to me it's like show a little bit more like understanding, like catch yourself. Like
Right.
you see yourself starting to be a jerk, you're like, oh, sorry, you know, it's
Yeah.
not entirely about me, you know, if do what you need to do, that kind of thing.
I do feel like it's a thing that he's gonna slowly figure out. Like you said, like it's not a switch right. I'm a good person now, unless you're Shun in Forze, and then all of a sudden he thinks he's a good person immediately, and that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about Shun. But no, like Banjo is in desperation mode, and that's what I
Yeah.
kind of like about his character
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the use of him in the show.
there's
Is,
two different goals with the two main male leads.
right.
Maybe even three if you count Owner as well.
Yeah.
So
Right,
there's
right.
people with different goals trying to get to. They're all gonna get to the same point because that's how shows work.
Mm-hmm.
But like I like how. Like there's a really different path to doing this, and that's where all the tension is gonna come from.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh, yeah.
when we kind of fast forward to like the end,
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
when
We get to that.
we get
yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
There's actually a funny interaction between Banjo because that's when Sento
Yeah,
and
he brings in his friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He talks about him like, he's like, oh, I'm talking about this whole nonsense like Sato Taro stuff. He's like Ryuga's all confused, like Sato Taro, the hell? He's like, what's that? And then that's when Misora like interrupts both of them and shows them like a little cow diagram. He's like, look, I finished it. And then like they're not impressed. And they're like, what's that? And then she's like, oh, the bottle's finished. And then instantly Sento just dips. And he's
Yeah.
like, I got a new bottle.
I do like that scene with the whole little cow puzzle thing, because you start to see that she is still kind of a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like she plays a little sister role, you know, to pretty much Banjo especially. But like here you really see her youthfulness, you know, her, because she's not.
Well, she's a shut-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also a big fan of Banjo like head smacking Tatsuya.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty.
Yes, twice.
Twice. I
did it
kind of felt
twice.
like keep going a little bit.
Again, like earlier, when I
some
said
sense
I don't feel bad when he gets turned into a smash, I didn't feel bad here either. I was like, kind of deserve it. You're being really loud and obnoxious. I'd probably want to do the same
Maybe if you
thing.
take a few minutes to chill and see your situation, maybe
Process
you'll learn
things a little
process
bit.
things before you react first. So anyway, yeah. So
So
Sento
what was the bottle? It was.
Comic.
So that kind of killed my theory, because I thought that all the living things were from the Smash, and the non-living things were like made just by them.
Yeah.
That killed that theory.
All I gotta say is hot to that.
But I mean, it's kind of weird just saying a comic, but like it can make for a really good writer suit.
This
Yeah.
because this is where like Sento's like now he's with the panel. He's trying
Yeah.
to figure out the next match. And
He's kind of in his element, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just love that he was like, okay, what does this go with? And then Banjo's like, what about this? Best match. He's like, what?
It's the second
He's
time.
He's like, all right,
He's
let's keep going. Let's figure this thing out. He's like, no, you don't understand. I gotta make a weapon. Huh? What goes good with Dragon comic?
That's
like,
what I
you
liked
know?
about it, is because he freaked out the
Yeah.
moment that Ryuga just instantly found out the best match. He's like, no way. And he's like, all right, now let's go find like some people that can help me out
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like screams like, no.
He brings out his like his
clear board.
His clear.
Yeah.
I was gonna call it a whiteboard, but yeah, it's a cleared board.
Yeah.
He starts doing math and like what like what would be good for a comic and ninja. Ooh, a sword with. He starts kind of going back and
Two things I noticed about this scene.
Yes.
One, he mentioned a pirate bottle,
yes,
and I'm like,
Goku.
interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what the next movie wars is gonna be like?
Exactly.
And the other thing I noticed, and this is after, can I see one of the bottles real quick? Did you guys, I don't know if you guys brought this up, thank you. I don't know if you guys brought this up, but one thing in the last episode, I don't know if you guys brought it up last episode or not, but it's the thing I'm noticing as I look at the bottom, I went, there are two letters on top
yes.
of the bottle.
We talked about that last
Okay,
week,
good.
and it's like
Sento,
be-
you're such a genius.
it would be really
Look.
cool.
The
It would
bottle.
be really cool if that label was blank until they found the best match.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it
You know,
was.
that's what I thought it was too. But
It
last
wasn't.
episode when he got which was it last? Yeah, when he got last week's the ninja,
Yeah.
you see the two like letters on it, and it was a close up of it too.
Yeah.
and it had like the two, and I was like,
Toei.
it would have been much better
They're
if they would have
busy
kept it
people.
blank.
That's
they have
fair.
so many things.
Fine.
What they should definitely do at this point, Ryuga, it's not a fluke. He kind of knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just sit Ryuga down, have him find all the best matches. It'll save everyone a lot of time. While
It's like you said. He's like, you gotta put an animal with a cool object.
yeah,
And that's
like,
how you do it.
Living and non-living, that's it.
Yeah.
That's because pirate and ninja just don't go.
But I do like that it's always him doing it really
I love
fast.
that running joke.
Yeah.
I love that. I hope they keep doing it.
Yeah, same.
Well, I appreciate it with someone who, like, again, if Sento's supposed to be someone who kind of personality switched because of his memory loss, and now that maybe he has a specific, like, personality where he kind of gets to a manic mode.
Yeah.
And, for someone like me who gets into kind of modes like that, where, like, no one talk to me, I'm so focused. Wait, why did you finish? I'm really mad that I have to be focused and you can just do it. That
Yeah,
hurts me in my heart space.
Yeah, that
I get
first
that. I
time
get
he's
that
like
from Sento.
he's like it's you have to do math and all these really difficult equations. He starts kind of going back how he's found his best matches, and it's like, okay, I'm done. I found your best match. Let's go do this thing.
It's the the hard worker versus natural talent moment.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, oh.
Yeah,
Because if you're the hard worker, like, come on.
yeah,
It
exactly.
gets frustrating.
I think we've all had those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens next?
So at this point, he just goes, whatever, man. He goes to the bed, takes a power nap, and then we see Tatsuya basically going away and walking on his own in the middle of the night. We actually skipped over this part, but after he gets hit the second time from Ryuga, they start talking about his framing. He was telling him, "Oh, I got framed," and then that's when like something hits Tatsuya, and he's just like,
I
No,
get
no
it.
way. He's
Something,
yeah.
yeah,
And
something
so
clicked.
he just like runs out, the cafe and screaming and all that stuff, and then basically Ryuga tells him like, "Don't snitch on me," he's like, "Because I will find you," or something like that. So after we go through all that, we see Tatsuya in like the darkest of alleyways. I don't know how it just got dark so quickly.
Was this the same part where like some two ladies tried to go into the cafe and like Ryuga scared them off?
No, they were
Yeah,
actually
well,
passing by.
it was a gag. It was one of
Yeah.
those all like, "Don't tell anyone I'm the fugitive," and looks over. There's two people right there.
And then he just
Then closes the door.
closes the door and he's like, "I'm done here."
Yeah.
And so,
No, there's something very Kuga-ish about this scene where he's
Yes.
walking in this dark alley by himself that I'm like, oh no writer show is good. There's nothing good happens to a person in a writer show where they're walking in
Have
a
you seen
dark
Amazon?
No,
Nothing happened.
nothing
happened.
good in a dark alley in a writer show.
I just laughed that the daytime just went by so fast.
Well, no, it also could be like Japan has a lot of underground tunnels just
Yeah,
because of like the mountainous area
That's true.
and things like that. They can't really build like horizontal. They have to be vertical, and so there are a lot of underground tunnels. So sometimes you get to those moments where like,
okay.
oh, it's daytime, and why is it dark now? You're literally in a tunnel.
Okay.
But we're also kind of noticing that like Tatsuya clearly did something.
Or, no, he knows.
He knows something
Yeah.
about Sento's situation that he's feeling guilty about.
Yes,
and that's the really interesting little nugget right now. Is that-
And that's when
Oh,
Stock
we
stalks
have-
on his prey.
We have Daryl Delphin in the chat. He called us nerds.
What?
You're the
What?
one at Comic-Con, all right?
Leave us
Nerd.
alone, Daryl.
Oh, New York Comic Con?
he's
Yeah, he's
a
at
He's
New
at
York
New York
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
La-di-da. Well, I was in Hawaii last week. I can't complain.
Oh, he's at hi, Paula. Daryl says hi.
Leave Daryl.
All right, Daryl. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. So from here, we see Stock basically going up to Tatsuya and knocking him out.
Yeah.
He's like, you'll be fine for this experiment or whatnot. Knocks him out. Next thing you know, we go to the next scene, which still kind of like gets to me, like with the jitters here and there. We see Tatsuya getting turned into the Smash, but he's like suffering. He's just like, I don't want to be here. Let me go, and all that stuff. And then he gets turned into the Smash. From there, we cut to the next scene of where he's just rampaging everywhere.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
rampaging everywhere. We see the Guardians there. They're getting ready to fire on him. Well, they're already firing on him. And
These are the government ones,
yeah,
right?
these are the Toto Guardian ones. So beforehand, after Sento finishes up the 4-point sword, the big ninja weapon that he has, he starts
In
swinging it
Swords Now.
around like a jackwagon because he wants to test it. And he almost hits Misora in the face.
Yeah.
And wants to go test it over there on
Banjo.
Banjo, and then Banjo's like, he's awake at this point. And he's like, you do this, and there'll be hell to pay. And then from there, he's like, so you were awake. From there, Misora gets a message like, oh, we have another Smash sighting. From there, Sento leaves, goes and finds a new Smash, and as he's like hiding in the back, looking at the new Smash, we see Stock coming behind them.
Yeah.
And he's just like, there's something in particular about that Smash that I really like. You'll like it too. He's like, what's that? He's like, Aniki!
The fact that Stock does an impression of him is both funny and actually really screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of creepy.
Like, you
Yeah.
can tell he's a jerk.
Yeah. That's what I like about the villains so far in the Faust, is that they are really diabolical.
Yeah.
They cut where they know it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah. They're very psychological. Like, that's
But
something
that makes a
that's
good villain.
Yeah. No, for sure.
A villain that
Yeah.
knows you and knows where to hurt you.
Yeah,
Not
and
that
so-
I think about these things. But
It just makes it so when they eventually lose, it's that much more satisfying because you're like, this person really deserved it.
Yeah.
Because there's different types of villains, and some of the best villains are villains who think they're the good guys.
yeah, I like those. There's a
But
lot of
these
anime
these
like that.
villains are more this. They know they're bad and they don't care, and they're gonna do what it takes to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's really really satisfying when they go down.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they deserve it. They deserve the loss for all the pain they've caused.
They
'Cause
deserve
they
it.
know
Check that out.
what they're doing.
They deserve a nice swift rider kick to the face.
With the treads.
With the treads.
treads.
And this is that he does another rider kick to him at this part, right?
At this point, he starts getting angry after he finds out that it's Tatsuya that's been turned into
right.
the Smash. And this is where we see Sento just like go off.
Yeah.
He goes ape on Stock. He transforms into his, primary rider form, and he goes in and starts just hammering with the drill crusher. He's just hammering him back and forth. And then finally he's just like, screw this, and he goes in for the rider kick again. This is what I like about this shot, is that they emphasize the kick this time. And we don't see him do like the whole trail thing, going under, waiting for the pipe to come up like Mario and all that stuff. We see him go directly into the rider kick, and just taking all the force that he has and just attacking straight on at Stock.
Yeah.
And then Stock, at this point, he takes it like a champ, but
It does some effect.
it does some damage. And this is where he's just like, okay, I see you're angrier now. Your hazard level went to 3.7.
Right.
And he's like, but I know when I don't have to like continue with a fight that I'm probably gonna lose. So I'll see you later, you know. And so then he directs his attention to Tatsuya, who's the Smash this time.
Yeah.
And starts going against the Guardians. Well, he doesn't really attack them. He just pushes them out of the way.
Because he's at the end of the day, he's trying to protect his friend.
Yes.
Right.
And so he's trying to tell Tatsuya, he's trying to talk to him, he's like, it's me, you know, I'm trying to help you, listen to me. And he pushes them out of the way. And he's like looking at the Guardians getting ready to fire. And he's just like right there. And that's when we see Banjo just come out of nowhere on his bike.
Yeah.
And, you know, start attacking the Guardians.
This is honestly, I'm definitely sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no.
This is where I really appreciate this a lot, just because I haven't seen again, it's going back to those classic Kamen Rider elements.
Right.
It's a motorcycle just stunt fight.
Yes.
Just back and forth, and I absolutely
It's
love
obligatory.
that.
Yeah.
I missed it.
It's weird to say that we missed a bike fight in Rider shows,
I
but
mean-
there's been so many shows that don't have a lot of bikes in them.
Not as much. Well, I'm thinking.
In
well,
X-Aid, the bike was the fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. Thank
Well,
you.
we only had that.
We had a few.
We had a few bike fight there. There was even but I was thinking also the various bike fights in Gaim, and
Yeah.
like I said, if like the directors from those previous action from O's, from Gaim, from Double,
Yeah.
there's a lot of really good stunt bike fighting,
Yeah.
wheelies and like jumps and going back and forth, like really again classic Kamen Rider elements.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
Absolutely.
such a good fight, and one of them was not costumed.
Yeah.
Banjo doesn't have a suit, and it
Yeah.
was great.
That's what I love about Banjo's fighting right now in
Yeah.
the show. It's like Banjo is and again, if we said this a couple times on the show already, if he doesn't become the secondary rider, it's some sort of red herring thing, I'd be very upset.
Yeah, and I love that since he has his full bottle now, it gives him at least a little bit of power.
Yeah.
So he's more willing to put himself in harm's way because he knows that he can at least somehow back himself up.
Right.
You know, at least a little bit against the Guardians. Maybe not so much against the Smash,
Right.
but against the
But
Guardians.
it also allows, if you're talking about, young kids watching this show, it also gives them that sense of, hey, I don't need a suit to fight.
Right.
I could buy the toy.
Yeah.
That's why
Just
be
use
just
it
as
to fight,
powerful.
you know?
So okay,
it's really cool that way.
let's rush into the finale.
All right, so here at this point, Sento takes Tatsuya to a, quiet location.
Yeah.
Instantly transforms into his new best match.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ninja Comic. He goes in and starts hammering
Oh,
on.
it's so good.
Such a
The
good
form
fight.
is really good.
Yeah.
I'll say this. He goes ham on Tatsuya. It's like the sword that he uses. I had a theory about this where it's just like, what if his his little gem inside helps him create everything, like a little diagram of what he's gonna do, and then the sword just inks everything together. And so I liked that theory came to fruition.
Yeah,
To
I can
where
see
it's
it. Yeah,
just like, he created all these clones, and he's just confusing the living hell out of
So
Tatsuya.
was a clone thing a comic thing or a ninja thing?
ninja thing.
It's a ninja
100%.
thing.
It was a ninja thing,
I mean,
but the sword created it to life.
I mean, it could be a
Yes.
Photoshop thing as well if you want, where you just multiply it on Photoshop. But it's mostly a ninja
Yeah,
thing.
okay, cool. So from there,
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so from there he starts confusing Tatsuya until he uses the secondary part of the sword, which is a fire jutsu, and he
Right.
uses the sword, goes up, and what I like about this is that all the clones turn into fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool, and then you see just him coming up and slashing and finishing it off. From there, he de-transforms, wants to help out, Tatsuya. Tatsuya remembers everything, starts apologizing
Yes.
for basically nonsense.
We basically find out that he said he took his friend when he basically told his friend took the job, a mysterious job.
The same one similarly as Banjo did.
Yeah.
So it's a callback to that.
Call back to that to some sort of new drug thing, which again makes me wonder, how's that connected?
Yes.
And it's his fault because he took the job to help him, but yet he thought if he did this other thing that was going to help him, and then
They're
that's
dropping in those plot points.
Yeah.
And rolling back to that conversation that Banjo and Misao had,
Yeah.
Banjo asking, it's like, well, what does the Smash do if he gets, retransformed again? It's like, oh, he'll probably return to his lair.
that's only it's a maybe. She's not even sure about that.
It's like he'll probably do that. But one of the things I really liked about the ending of this, I guess we'll just
get to it.
fast-forwarding.
Get to the end. Yeah.
Get to the end of this is that Banjo knocks Sento out.
Yeah.
And then retransforms Tatsuya and back into the Smash in the promise that they will
They go back to the
they
lair.
go back to the lair, and that kind of again it goes to the two people have a goal.
Yeah.
They're trying to technically they're going to end up in the same place, but they're going about this two different ways, and that creates that tension.
Right.
And there's that character conflict between our two main characters, and they're both not wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And I absolutely love this because in other times it's just a macho thing, like no, I'm in charge, no, I'm in charge. So there's that rivalry,
And
but in
there's
this
a
one,
layer of that there
Yeah.
too. Like I'm not like this.
Yeah.
This either, but it's not the only thing.
exactly.
Right.
In this one, there's more reason to it. Like they both have similar goals, but overall different goals, and they both are going about it in different ways. Also, probably correct ways because their priorities are different.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, one's priority is to save the world, you know, because he doesn't want to see people get hurt, and the other one just wants to
Live his life.
freedom. He
Yeah.
wants his own freedom.
Yeah.
As selfish as that sounds, it's what we
It's
want
kind of
too.
basic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, you know,
It's a
like
basic
it's
need.
relatable. You know,
Yeah.
like it sounds selfish, like oh, but I mean, if you had to stay trapped in a coffee shop with bad coffee, you'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
So we have a few comments. So Justin was surprised that we're in a real comic book shop, and he said he loves the show even more. So
Oh.
yes, thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Yeah. So he said he loves Banjo's fighting skills and how he's outside of the suit. The outside of the suit fights are amazing, but the in-suit fights are complete dopeness.
Yep.
You're all right.
Yeah,
Yep.
the action,
They are
like I said, the
pulling
action
out
director's
all
really
the
good.
stops for this season. They absolutely are. It's like the last Heisei season. So
They might-
they
yeah.
have to.
There's
you
a
know?
little bit of that where it's like pulling out all the stops. Stuff
Yeah,
right
maybe
now,
that's what they're doing so much because it's the last Heisei season and they want it to go with a bang.
Yeah.
So maybe we shouldn't be too worried about some of the pacing.
Yeah.
You know. So
I mean, considering also like it's paired with Q Ranger, and they're pulling out the stops for that
Yes.
as well. So you have two very dynamic
yeah.
series back and forth. Sometimes when it comes to superhero time lately, it's been like one's more dynamic than the other.
Yes.
One's more maybe slice of life than the other.
Yeah.
But this time you have two really dynamic shows
Oh
going
yeah.
back to back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Definitely.
good superhero time right now. I'll definitely
It's
say.
a good block.
Yeah, it's a good block.
And they kind of have to be because now they're fighting against One Piece and Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
in terms
it's
of their
true.
time slot.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Well, yeah, because
Cool.
they moved the time slot. So
so they're competing with that as well. So there's
Yeah.
that little bit of that element.
Right.
why would they do that? Bandai says the toys for both, for all
Yeah,
of them.
well,
you know,
yeah,
they're
it's,
just-
it's kind of a let's see if this works
Right.
Okay.
kind of moment. Because if you're already there watching, what you're watching.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we those are some of the newer comments. Abigail said happy birthday to Daryl because his birthday was like last week, so
It
Daryl,
was
if you're still
yesterday,
somehow
wasn't
watching.
it?
Was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
It was
How
yesterday.
do I know that? And you guys are working.
I just.
I haven't been home, so it's been like a blur. But yeah, it was
Hey,
Happy
Daryl.
birthday, Daryl.
Happy birthday, Daryl. I didn't know. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so overall, what would you rate this episode, guys?
Out of what's the ranking?
5?
I think we've been doing it out of 10.
Out of 10. It's a pretty good 8 to 8.5 for me in this one.
I would agree. I think it's 8.5
Yeah,
out of
it's
10.
pretty
8.5.
strong. It would have to I would have to be cheering and crying for it to be a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that threshold
I
is pretty
think-
high.
Mm-hmm.
G is like that for me for some episodes.
Yeah.
Ultraman
I
G.
need to start watching G.
I haven't
That's,
seen it. I haven't seen that
that's on
yet.
Crunchyroll, so I have no excuse not to watch it.
But yeah, so this is about like 8 or 9. It's
Alright.
actually
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's a solid episode.
9 even for the action scene.
It
Yeah.
answered some questions, but like any good show that wants people to keep watching, it gave us even more questions. For every one
really
question
good.
it answered, two more popped up.
Yeah, exactly.
The suits were amazing. The fight scenes were amazing. The story progressed. We got some answers. Yeah, solid 8.5, 9 out of 10. What about you, Luis?
Same.
Same?
All right.
All right, guys.
Unanimous.
Cool. So, do you guys want to do? Let me before we
It's like
do
we
our.
all matched.
Yes.
Hey.
It was the best match.
Hey.
So before we do our sign off, let's just say hi to everyone once more in the room. Abigail Parker, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you for joining us. Let's see who else was in here.
Justin.
Thank you for joining us. Daryl, if you're still in here, thank you for joining us. For every single one of you guys, thank you for joining us. And then Justin said, by the way, great shirts, Justin and Paula. Yeah, I agree. Best shirt. Best shirts! All right, guys, before we sign off, can you guys give us your social media?
Mighty Action Lou on Instagram.
I'm just at Paula Gaetos, Gaetos. Also, you can get this shirt from one of our artist features on Tokunet. His name is Mark Harrington, also known as Aniseed Man, Anaseed. So get him. If you like this shirt, check out his work.
Here's my list of things I'm on. So you can find me on Twitter at Justin Quizon. Find me on Instagram as Justin Quiz. I have 2 podcasts, Nothing New, a Remake podcast, my Steven Spielberg podcast, Benview on Spielberg. And if you're watching the show, that means you like Tokusatsu Heroes. So I have a Tokusatsu comic that's free online called Shining Yuusha. Daryl's not.
Yuusha.
Thank you. Daryl usually does that for me. And so that's available for free on Tumblr. You just follow my social media and you can find out where to find that. And you?
And I am Jimmy. You can find all my personal stuff at GL Jimmy. You can also find me occasionally on Angel Grove Radio. And if you like this sticker, you can go to CV Illustrations. He has a lot of really cool X8 and Sentai
We're
stuff.
pitching, we're featuring him soon
So
on Tokunet.
Ooh, Tokunet. You have
On
a
the
special
Tokusatsu
thing. So, guys, thank you so much. Your sign off?
Well, okay, because sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, guys, because we are
The
Kamen Rider, Pop Culture Renegades.
Pop culture ready.
Sorry. Practicing.
We're figuring that out.
We're practicing.
Pop Culture
One more
Renegades.
time.
We are
The
Pop
Pop
Culture
Culture
Renegades.
Renegades.
Thank you guys. Till next week.
Bye.